Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You can tell from the title of this video that I'm so excited, and I know that I've been talking a lot about Google Looker at this point, and it really just made sense for me to come up here and pretty much do a tutorial for you. All right, Looker is literally a new tool out there, right? And now let me just tell you the reason why I'm even so excited about this and why I think there's a need for me to even work on this tutorial, right? So I literally started using Looker, and I noticed that when I started using Looker, there was little or no content out there, especially on YouTube, right, that literally explained how to use Looker. And literally for most of the content that you see on YouTube is pretty much from Google Cloud themselves, right? And it was not really as detailed and as comprehensive as I hoped it would be. So this video, I literally tried to solve that problem because I noticed that that's literally a challenge for people to literally like get started using Google Looker, right? So before further ado, let's jump right in. And in this video, I'll be more or less analyzing a demo data in Looker, and it's called an e-commerce demo data, right? So I'll be building a reporting dashboard that literally analyzes data available in there. But before I do that, one of the many things I really like doing is to ensure that I actually like create sort of like a mock-up. So a mock-up is pretty much how I want my Looker dashboard to be like, if that makes sense. So what I mean is I'll just start by showing you how I want my analysis to look like. So like how I want my charts, right? How I want my bar graph or my pie charts, right? How I want them to align at the end of the reporting. So I'm going to get ahead and drop this mockup for us to get started with this reporting. To get started, we're going to use draw.io, right, to literally show us how to create the mockup of how I want my dashboard to be like, right? And at the end of this tutorial, you should see something similar to the mockup I'm trying to create. So first off, I said it's an e-commerce dashboard. So the very first thing I pretty much want to do here is put a text, right? And I should call it e-commerce dashboard. So this is how I want it to be like, right? So I'm just going to move this probably here, right? Then I also want to have my count. So I usually ensure that for every single aggregations I do, I want them to always be at the top most of my reporting of my dashboard itself. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to bring a rectangle. Now why I'm using a rectangle is because it's just going to like show the count of the different inventory as well as sales and others that I can represent in my reporting, right? So Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'm going to have them like in triple parts. So I'm going to call the first one inventory count, and this literally just be a number, right? Inventory count. And I'm going to call the next one other counts, or other counts, right? And then I'm going to call the next one product count. So this is literally the count of products, right? Then next off, because I just literally told you I love all my counts at the topmost part of my reporting. I actually learned this in a previous place of work actually. So it's just something I love doing personally, right? Then also, I also would want to analyze certain things as pie charts. So it's just fair for me to bring this up here. And let me just increase this and Ctrl C, V, C, V, right? And I'm gonna have this here. I'm gonna also have this here, right? So this will literally be my first pie chart, and this would be the other pie chart, and this would be another pie chart, okay? Right? And because this literally just shows us like pie chart of, let's say, in the data, you're comparing different departments as well as whether it's in the male department, I think so, or male outfits or with the women outfits, one of those. But I'm going to represent it using the pie chart. Sorry, yeah, pie chart. Then the next one would be using a bar graph, right? Now that I'm thinking of this, I would literally just bring this in here. Let me see if there's something like a bar graph here. I would just pretty much use this one. So probably this one. Just this one. So I'm just going to use this one here to literally show different analysis. Ctrl CV, CV, right? I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this here. Okay. So this here would be my first bar, and this would be the next bar chart. And this would be the other bar chart, right? So at the end of my reporting, I really want just something as simple as this. This gives me a visual aid as to how to even get started, right? So we're going to go on and literally just get started with our analysis, okay? So we have the mockup ready and we can pretty much go ahead to build our Looker dashboard, guys. I'm so excited about this. So come along with me and let's get started. Also, another reason is because, I mean, for everyone who wants to get started into data analytics, everyone's go into either Power BI or Tableau, and that makes sense. But I mean, I'm a part of the country whereby most of the tools that we use there is really not Microsoft Power BI or Tableau. I mean, a lot of us are using a new tool, right? And because I didn't have enough content out there, like I had to like learn on the job. It wasn't something that was fun because I literally had to ensure that I had like other resources to leverage on, right? I mean, I even had to take Udemy courses as well too. And now that I've literally had like some experience working in Google Looker, right? It just makes sense for me to come up here and like literally like create a video on this and literally just guide you through the most basic knowledge and all that you need to really understand how to use Looker pretty much, right? So yes, let's get right in, guys. So one thing I also want to put out there is that to even get started with Google Looker, you literally have to have a Google account, and also, I mean, pretty much if you have a Gmail account, you can use Google Looker, and then you can access Google Looker using QwikLabs as well, right? Because that's, I mean, Google Looker is not a free tool, so you can use QwikLabs to actually get into Google Looker and start a lab, and in there you have like some list of tutorials you can go on and do, and some of them are for like 30 minutes, 1 hour. So I'm going to utilize this start labs, right, or these lab options available to actually go on and create our e-commerce dashboard. So I'm going to set for QwikLabs Looker here, and I'm going to click QwikLabs here. Right, you see jumpstart your cloud career and click sign in. You can sign in with Google, right? Automatically, it's a Google product, guys, right? Then we're going to go in your home profile. Okay, no, not profile, sorry. So we're going to click catalog. I'm going to see different activities that we can run on Looker, right? And first off, we're going to click on, let's say we want one that has like a lot of, we don't want 30 minutes because it's short time. Well, for this purpose, we're going to use 1 hour, right? So we're going to click this one here that has Looker Connects LookML Developer Learning Journey, right? So this one, what it means is that it allows you to see how to use LookML in your Google Looker. But I'm just going to click the link here, and it takes me to start a lab, right? And we're seeing the time box of about 1 hour, which is good. 1 hour free. Right, so we're going to start the lab right now, and then it will take us to sign into Google Looker pretty much, right? So let's just wait a moment to get this up and running. Yes, so I have my username and I have my username and I have my password. I'm going to open Looker in another tab, and then I'll pretty much just copy Looker username and paste it here, right? And I'm going to also copy the password as well too, and also paste it in here as well, right? Ctrl V, and then I'll just click login. So no, I don't want to save this. So now we have our Looker fully loaded. Let's jump right in to see the different data that's currently in here. And one thing I love about Google Looker, I mean for the QwikLab, right, is the fact that you can actually it already has like existing data sets inside, right? I'm going to click explore, and explore, we're going to actually look at the other items under the e-commerce training, right? And we're clicking other items here, and then we get it to load, right? So explore is where we're going to actually see the different fields and dimensions that are currently in Google Looker, right? In the other items, explore pretty much. And one thing we can see is we have the custom field, we have the distribution centers, and if I go in here to see what's or how it's been generated, I click on go to LookML here, and I see the different data source from where it's pulling out the data from, right? Here we can see that it's pulling out the data from cloud training, demos, Looker e-coms, distribution centers, and it has different IDs. So this ID is what we are seeing here pretty much, right? And it's getting it from the table, which is from the table and the corresponding column called ID. We also have the latitude as well too. We also have the latitude as well too here, which is also what is here as well too. We have the longitude and so on. And one thing I also want to show you is also like the count, right? There's something called count here, and it has a measure. So note that measures are literally highlighted like this, right? Measures are pretty much like this. They're in a brownish color pretty much, right? Then that is that about the distribution centers, and we can go on and see what is also in our inventory items, right? It's loading, and we'll see what's an inventory items. We can see all these different view or like source file. Let's just call it source file for the scenario let's just call it source file for this instance, right? And then we also have like we also have the inventory items, we have the other items, we have the products, and we have the users as well too, right? And that is how it is, right? And we're just literally created as dimensions in our LookML in here. As you can see, it's all dimensions in our LookML, right? And then we're not going to just go on and like pretty much start building out our we're going to start building out our dashboard based on what I showed in the mockup, right? So if you look at the mockup, one of the many things I wanted to show you is that, or rather, one of the many things I wanted to do, right, is I wanted to ensure that I want to see the count of certain orders, the inventory, the product, and that's what I'm going to do in here. So first off, I'm literally going to click where do we have our orders? We have our orders here, right? And I want to see the count, right? So we're going to click here. We're going to use the order ID for this, right? We're going to run it as a card, and also the count, other count, right? So let's run this. I'm not sure why it's taking a lot of time to load though. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to include this other ID, sorry. I'm just going to have this run. So I'm going to have this at a single value, and I'm seeing it as 164358. And then I'm going to save this in a new dashboard, right? So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to save as a new dashboard. I'm just going to call it dashboard, right? E-commerce dashboard. Then I'm going to save it, right? So it's going to save as a new tab. Now let's just even view what we just created right now. I'm going to open it in a new tab just for us to view it. So this is it here. We can see that it's called e-commerce dashboard, but I think I want to do something nice about this. It's looking too bland, right? So let's click here, and I'm going to just change the format and the color, right? So I'm going to click edit here, and I want to change it to what color would be nice, guys? What color would be nice for this? I'm going to use orange, right? And I'm going to also have like the value show as well. So it's showing in here. So let me run this and then save. So I'm saying e-commerce. Okay, no, I don't want this e-commerce dashboard here. I'm just going to click here, edit, and I'm going to call it I want a different name, title variant. I'm going to call it inventory records. No, this is not inventory record, this is other records, right? Other records. I'm going to run and save. And so we see it in here, right? So we're moving on. Let's just go on and click here, and I'm going to change and go back to the inventory records. Inventory records is up top here. It has the count here. I'm going to click count here, and one thing you notice that for every single field or measures you use, you would see it in the in-use section here, right? So I'm going to remove these other items, and I'm going to include count, and I'm going to run. So the count from the inventory, right? And I'm going to call this inventory records. So let's edit the name. We're going to use color green, right? We're going to call this inventory records. So I'm just going to save this also in the dashboard. So an existing dashboard. So I'm going to save my existing dashboard here. My developer students, e-commerce dashboard. So I'm going to save to dashboard, right? Then if I go here and I refresh. So let me refresh this. And we're seeing the change that we have, right? Inventory records is now showing up here. Up top, let's bring in another count of, let's call it product. Let's do for product records. So product records, we're going to bring it in here, this count here, and we're really just going to run it as well. So I'm in here, we're going to use a different color. We should use this color, I guess. We're going to call these product records, right? Product records. So I'm going to run this and save it to the existing dashboard as well, to an existing dashboard. And that's developer students, and save it in here. And that's that. So we can see a beautiful looking dashboard that's literally just showing us the different counts of different orders, inventory, and also like product as well too, right? So let's move on, right? And let's see like different analysis that can also occur here. So one thing we can see is that in here we have something called inventory items. We also have like the different brands as well too, right? What about if I want to do the inventory items by the brand? That's literally possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this particular inventory, the count of the inventory itself, right? I should remove this one from here, and then I'm going to include the brand. So I think the brand let's just run this and see first of all and see what we see. It's taking quite a lot of time to load. Okay, so sorry, not brand, I think category, because I want to use a pie chart. I know for a pie chart it's just advisable for you to use at least 2 or 3 different types that exist in the data, right? Anything more than 3 or anything more than 5 are advised that I use like a different visualization tool. But for like values that are 2 or 3, I would really advise for you to use a pie chart or a pie chart, right? So we're going to click in here and use. So actually I'm looking for one that has I think it's department. So it's grouped in such a way that it's either male or female, I believe. So I just want 2 types, right? So let's see, yes, men and women, that's right. So I can literally view this as a pie chart, and I can have it as this, as basic as it is. But then what about if I want to tweak it, right? What about if I want to have my pie charts in a different kind of way? So we can have the labels, we can have it as a label percent or just as a percent itself. We can have it as a label value. We can have it as a value just like that. We can have it as a label just like that, right? But I think I would just preferably want it as a percent. I think that just shows us like the ratio in a more ideal way, right? So I'm just going to leave this like this. And since I have like a color scheme, I'm sort of going towards, if you notice in here, I'm using like red, green, ash, right? So yeah, and because it's men and women, we can use pink and blue, right? So we're going to click and change that in here, right? We're going to leave men as it is, blue, and then we're going to use women for pink, right? Just to signify the different gender, right? And we're going to also save this, right? I'm going to save this, run, and then we'll save this to an existing dashboard, and we're gonna have this here and save to dashboard. Okay, so let's see what we have. So we can see this beautiful tile in here, right, by different departments, right? So next off, I want to see the sales. I just saw the inventory. Probably I should even just, let me probably just rename this, right? Let me just go here. You can edit dashboard, you can click inventory by department. Let me do that, inventory by department. Save this, save, and then moving right up, we can just bring in the sales. I want to see what department actually sold more, right? So let's see the sales. I'm going to remove this count here. So we're not going to use the product department for this. We're going to use the other items, because I know there's something called sales here that is in here, right? And I want to use that instead. So moving right up, we're going to look at the different sales by the different product departments, right? And one thing that we can do in here is that I want to see the different sales by quarter, right? So I see the date here. I'm seeing the date, month, quarter, time, week, and year. But I want to see, let's say, from 2023, the first quarter of 2023, and I also want to see the inventory items as well too as a measure, because I can't analyze this without a measure, right? Because I'm doing a count, I'm aggregating. Then also I also want to see by the product department. So I'm bringing product department in here, and let's run this and we'll see what happens here, right? Running this, we're seeing men, women by different quarter, right? So for example, we're seeing that in 2023 Q1, we see that this is the count of this was what was sold pretty much, and the inventory and the count as well too, right? But we're just going to assume that this is the count of what was sold pretty much, right? Or believe that this is count what was sold. And then to effectively visualize this data, and if you see one thing we're seeing here is we're seeing something called incompatible data, right? And now this because it says pie chart require one dimension and one numerical measure. And now I'll show you to the next thing that I can do with pie charts, which is you can actually pivot, right? And we're going to pivot using the different departments that exist, and this is where the pivot data comes in. If I click in here, I'm going to click pivot, and then I'm going to run this. Let me put this in a bar chart. This looks good, but I don't want it in this way, right? Oh wait, hold on, I could probably use it this way, right? Let me create this first, right? And then we'll probably just have it as a pie chart for just Q1. But I don't really want it this way. I want it like a stacked bar chart. So I'm going to click stacked here, and I want the values to show as usual, right? Values, show value labels. I want it to show like this. And one thing that I learned from my previous place of work is actually removing the grid lines, right? I'm going to remove the grid lines here. And I love the clean canvas I'm seeing here pretty much, right? I love this clean canvas I'm seeing here. I usually would typically remove this because I can already see the values in this unique different bar charts, right? But I'll just leave it in here. I'll just leave this 20,000 and 10,000 because it's like scaling it for me, right? I'll probably just leave it like that, right? And then I can save this, right? So this is showing me, oh wait, maybe let me just see from just 2022, only 2022 quarter. So what I can do is I can now come in and bring in the filter, right? Filter this here, and I'll say in the past, let me say in the past 2022, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me say 5 quarters. Let's see what we get here. Just hold on as we run it. Okay, I'm gonna do I don't like my Q3 that's showing here. One thing I can do is I believe I can remove null values in here, or probably not. Let me just do in the last let me see, complete quarters. In the past 5 quarters. Okay, I'm seeing Q2 here, but I want to include Q1. So I'm gonna run this as well too. Good. Right now we're seeing no values in Q2, right? And do you guys have any idea why this is empty? That's because here we're not recording any data for Q3 2022 for Q2 2023, so that's why it's empty, right? So that's why we're also seeing this as well too. So we can just go ahead and just like save this as well too. I'm not sure there's really anything I want to change here, right? So I'm just going to save this in my existing dashboard as well. So I'm clicking here, I'm going to save this in my existing dashboard, e-commerce dashboard, save to dashboard. And if I refresh this, I have this here. So I'm going to rename this, right? Let me edit dashboard here. I'm going to recall this. So let's just say that this is the number of items that we sold, right? So I'm going to call this sales by quarter, right? Sales by quarter. And I always like expanding this. So I'm someone who really loves a clean dashboard. Like, I love utilizing spaces in dashboard pretty much. So because I told you that we're going to have like three cards here, right? That's 1, 2, 3. And we're also going to have like the different pie charts here, right? So I want to keep this empty space here for my pie chart. So I'm just going to keep this here in here like this, right? And here probably is not the best visual because I'm not even seeing the Q1 values, but let's all pretend and agree with this, guys. So let's just save this in here, and then going back here, I want to visualize this, right, for only the most recent quarter, right? So for 2023 Q1. So what I'm going to do is I'll keep this as a pie chart, but let's see, shame that cannot have pivots on a pie chart, right? But wait, let's look at something, right? We're going to go back to the bar chart, and we're then going to just select only for a particular quarter. So I'm going to say on so we're going to use on or after I think May, June is Q2 or so. But let's see. Okay, Q1 rather, that's January. I'm just going to use January instead. Right, so from January 2023, let's run this. Right, so we are seeing this. Now let's view this as a pie chart. Cannot have pivots as pie charts, so I'm going to move this rather, right, and then run this again. Pie charts requires one dimension and one numerical values. Why is this happening? Let's see why this is happening. I think it's because, oh sorry, I'm going to use the pivots by department. This is weird. Why is this happening? Okay guys, so we're going to use a donut multiple for this purpose because pie chart seems to be having, I'm not sure why pie chart wasn't working, but we're going to use a donut pivot for this, and we're going to run this, and then we're going to then save this, right? We are seeing 53% or 47% like in ratio between men and women. We're then going to go in here and we're going to save this in our existing dashboard. So I'm going to save this here, save to dashboard, and then if I go in here, I can refresh this, and I'm just going to call it, please guys, allow me, I'm going to call this sales by department. I'm trying to just utilize the different values I have here, and also because this is a timed lab, right? So I need to get every single reporting done before it shuts off, right? So sales by department. Yes, sales by department. Then the next one I probably want to also do is I want to do sales by product categories, right? And since I already have this here as a donut chart, I'm just gonna bring the different categories in here. So instead of departments, I remove these and pivot this, and I'll just run this here. Okay, I have 29 minutes actually. So why is it telling me I'll soon log out? Oh no, sorry. I need to filter it by just I don't want all different categories I can see here. I want just a few categories. So I think the top 5 categories. Hold on, let me not pivot this first of all. Let me just run this first. I think I will just select different categories, guys, right? I'm going to use filter here. I want accessory, and I can do this because I have worked on this project before. So accessories and active, right? And I'm gonna run this. So I just want 2 different values I'm comparing against. I think these are also like the top the top items or categories in the warehouse as well too. So I'm going to use donut multiples required. So it says pivot or multiple measures required. So because of that, I'm going to pivot by this, and I'm going to run this, and I should get it. Great. So I have this, right? And I can just go ahead and save this as this. So I'm going to save this to an existing dashboard, developer, e-commerce, save. And I'm going to just refresh this, and I'm going to also edit this dashboard because I want to have the name saved as sales by top products categories. Just believe that, guys. Just let's agree that this is sales, right? So sales by top products, right? So the whole point of this is just for you to see different things you can do with Google Looker, right? Product categories. So I'm going to save this here. And then next up is I have my chart is coming to life, right? Which is good. So what I want to do next is I want to do the different sales by departments, sales by products as well, 2 products categories as a bar chart, right? And I can literally come here. Another way you can actually also do that, edit dashboard, click here, duplicate the tile, and I can go in here and go back to my Explore, right? So notice that it's called copy here, right? And I can just click in here and edit it, which will take me to my Explore, and also have the name here, right? So I'm going to do sales by product department, right? So I'm going to include sales by product department. So this is already my sales by product department already, which is good, right? Between the men and women. So I could also do like the inventory first of all, right? I could do the inventories by quarters, and to do this I'm going to click my inventory count, remove this sold dates here. Then I'm going to have my product. I don't want this as well too, because I want to see for each different quarters what was the count of it, right? And I think I want my quarter created at, so the dates that this actually was accounted for in each quarter. So what was the inventory count for each of it? So maybe the past 6 months probably also fair, I guess. I'm doing the past 6 complete quarters, right? So I do not want this value inside. I can just put it up top. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to go to values. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to put it here and I'm going to move this inside here, right? And I'm going to call this inventory by quarters, right? Inventories by quarters. Right, and I have this here. Let me just run it again. So typically, because I have these value labels up top, I will just remove this here, and I'll show you how to do that. Click edit, then on the values up top, you're going to remove, X values. Is this Y axis rather, right? And then I think we can remove it here. We're going to remove the values. Yes, good. And then we're going to run and save this. And we have this beautiful looking lush this beautiful looking visual here. So I'm just going to put this, this is so small. I'm going to move this here a bit. I think I'm going to move this here, right? So I'm going to move this here. Then I'm going to reduce the size a bit. I guess this is fine. I'm going to bring this here as well too. Right, I think I can move this more. Feel it, yeah. Just move this here also, and also so this is just like aesthetics, right? Then one last thing I can do. What can I do again here? I can do the different sales by quarters, right? So let's see how we can do that. So I can just do another duplicate tile here. And I'm going to edit this. When edit here, we go to explore, and we want to do the different sales by quarters, right? We're going to move this department. We're just going to run this, right? And as usual, I do not want my value labels to show my y-axis. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to put my values up top. For me, I just feel it's cleaner that way than having your values inside. So, like, why have it here at the side when it's visible here pretty much, right? So save it here, and let me rename it first of all. I'm going to call it sales by quarters. Sales by quarters. So save. Sorry, this should be sales by product departments. Right? And because this is the case, I also want to change the value because it's sales. So we won't believe that it's sales also shows that something is profitable, right? So I think one good value we can use for this is green for the purpose of this inventory item. So I'll just change this as green, and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to move this here, right? And I'm going to move this here as well, and I'm having this beautiful dashboard, right? Then we can also do something, right? We can also do like a list of inventories as well too, right? So let me just save this, and I'm going to go back to my Explorer, and then the list of different inventories. Let me remove all these values that I use because I don't really need them again, right? This is just like an extra addition of another thing you can do. So I'm going to list the different inventories that does exist. So I think I'll remove this filter. I don't want this either. Go out. Then I'm going to bring the different product category, right? I want it as a bar chart, And let me run this first because it's still giving me like backwater and I don't want that to happen, right? So yes, not enough because I don't have any measure. I just have one dimension only here. So like, but I can see the different accessories here, right? And see how our SQL is. For this single thing that we just had to get from the field in our inventory items, we're seeing a SQL here, and it's literally just select this from this as this left join this. This is why I love this, because you can also learn a few things with SQL as well too, using QwikLabs. Smart, pretty neat. So I'm going to bring in count as well too, and let's run this. So I want this as this. And one thing is, I do not want this like this, right? This is a lot of values, first of all, and it doesn't look nice in my eyes. So I just want the top, I think I can do the top 5, I guess. Okay, no, probably I can do, I think, hold on, let me see here, let me see. So let me move this filter. I'm gonna do when the count is maybe greater than let me use greater than 6,000, because I know there's a lot of different products here. So I wanted to streamline it for me, right? But rather, I don't want it this way. This looks so messy and annoying. So let me remove this filter first, and I'm just gonna order this, right? Yes, this looks better, but I can change the color, right? First off, one thing I know is that I want this as a table, not this view. Yes, this is what I want. And one thing I've learned in my current place of work is like not having row numbers, right, on your table, because what's the point if you already can't see it well arranged instead of ascending or descending value? So I'll just go in here, remove row numbers here, and I'm literally running this, right? And I see that I have accessories, jeans, tops, tees, and the likes, and then I can then save this in my existing dashboard, developer, students, e-commerce, save to dashboard. And when I refresh this particular dashboard here, it looks so beautiful, so beautiful, and it shows that you can literally get this done in less than 30 minutes or even 20 minutes. So I'm pretty much going to call this probably list of product inventories. I hope this makes sense. Products inventories, right? And I'm going to just have it take this whole landscape. I know that we didn't have this in our what's it called? We didn't have it in our mockup that I created, but I just thought to show this as a table, right? So I can either decide to go down here, just see everything, but I just want to probably minimize it to. It's a lot. Okay, it's not a lot. So we can just leave it down to suits, right? So suits here. Yes. So it's the list of product inventories. So this is pretty much the end of this beautiful looking visual. It didn't take a lot of time, but this just goes to show like what you can literally achieve with using Google Looker. And it's just as simple as your drag and drop, but it's just like the basic. But with time, the more you use it, the more you actually get to understand, and you even love the use of Google Looker for your analysis, right? One other thing that you probably don't get to see is that you can also like use Git as well to revert changes, pull from your already existing change that was made and revert it back, and that's really good. I love the fact that we're able to tell a story by just using different colors, analyzing the data as well too. So if you really like this video, ensure to give it a thumbs up, right? And also let me know if you're in a company that is currently using Google Looker, are there any challenges that you face, right? Note that there are different Google Looker communities that you can ask your different questions, and I'll probably just put it in here. I think it's called Google Looker community, right? So whatever questions you have, you can come in here, you can ask the different questions, and very good questions. You can search for it as well too. Whatever question you want to ask, maybe measures, it gives you different questions that's shown up, right? how do I filter out null in filtered measure and the likes, right? Pretty much that is how to generate a visually appealing e-commerce dashboard, guys. If you had any question, or if you probably enjoyed it, ensure to give it a thumbs up, and please share as well too. Liking this video literally goes a long way, and I feel that it's a new tool, so the more we get people to learn how to use it, the better. And so that if they have any issues, they can always, they know where to go to for probably a solution to the problem they're having using Google Looker. It's fairly new, and just a few companies have adopted it, but with time, I believe it's going to make wave in the data analytics space. So until next time, have a great day, guys. Bye.